What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some Age of Mythology Retold guide shenanigans. Today, we're going to be doing a beginner guide. This one's going to be on Hades. This is my recommendation for a new player. Not really sure what Age of Mythology is all about. Has a little bit of RTS experience, but, you know, just wants to get in and be relatively, well, have a relative amount of fun being competitive, whatever. This is a really, really easy god to play. Hades, if you're a complete newbie at RTS, I do recommend the Atlanteans. They're super simple to play. Economy is half the size, so a lot less things you have to worry about. But in terms of just raw strength and simplicity of strategy and power, I think Hades is a god that you're going to really, really enjoy as a new player. We're going to be jumping into this one against an Odin here, playing as the Titan AI. The Titan AI is the strongest AI which does not cheat. As you go into the higher echelons, they start getting a handicap. All that means is that they have like bonus resources that they're going to be getting in. So the first thing you want to do when you jump into the town center is obviously queue up villages. After that, your villages will pop out of your town center, and you want to build a granary. This is your food deposit storage house, like a mill, basically, if you're Age of Empires 2. Then we've got a storehouse here. The storehouse for the Greeks can deposit both gold and wood into it. So we're jumping onto gold first, coming over onto wood second, and getting that sorted out. With your scout, all you want to do is avoid your opponent's main base here and just shift click all around the map. You really don't have to be too specific about it. You're going to scout the entire map and you don't even have to think about it at all. There are some efficiencies you can do with it by controlling it, but just shift clicking around the map, you will be completely fine. Now, another little quality of life feature here for Age of Mythology to help you out is villager auto queue. The easiest way to do it is to right click on the economic unit you want to auto queue. I'm using it, villagers here. You can also use Alt and Q to make that happen as well. Okay. So jumping over onto the deers and everything else on this spot, and we're off to the races. The next thing we want to do is basically we want to make sure we're going to get our temple down as fast as we can and get to gathering favor. All right, let's do that now. Onto the favor here. The Greeks, they gather favor by praying at the temple. But the reason you want to get onto it as fast as possible with one villager is because it's diminishing returns. When you put more villagers on it, you get less per villager. But you are increasing your favor income, but it's just less per villager. The next thing you want to do here as well is, as soon as you can, get yourself this house out. So start that one out. So long as you start it before 15 population, you're going to be completely fine. Here's another little quality of life trick. Whenever you hear yourself get goats or pigs, you hear a little didink thing going through in the sounds. You can actually go to your town center and use this send livestock to this location function, which is going to be really, really great for you. I'm going to just scout around here and around the back there, and then we'll kind of tell you whereabouts you should leave your scout and how to get maximum value out of that scout without any sort of focus or anything. We're just going to set and forget him and give you a lot of value out of it. Okay, so villagers onto wood here. This is going to allow us to get our buildings out, and we're going to be advancing really, really shortly. Okay, and one thing you can do is force drop by sending your villagers in, and we're going to go, we should actually talk about this. There's two gods you can pick up. You could go Athena or you could go Ares. Every single god has got this, but with Hades, Athena here gives you access to restoration. You also get access to the Minotaur, as well as a couple of simple upgrades here, which I wouldn't be too worried about these unique upgrades at the moment, but they do improve your units quite a bit. So it is worthwhile learning them, but we're just going to kind of put them to the back of our mind. Just leave it in the back of your mind that you know that they're decent and you should probably pick them up. But yeah, okay. The other one is Ares. Get your Pestilence. This is going to stop enemy buildings from firing, with the exception of the town center, as well as slow the unit production of enemy buildings to near standstill. So they are still going to be training, but it's a significant reduction in train speed from those buildings. You also get a Cyclops. This unit can throw stuff, as well as a whole bunch of really, really cool upgrades here as well for the Hypaspis, the Hoplite, and the the Bow of Horror here for the Toxotes. We're going to go with Athena, though, in this game and show you what that looks like. Now, when you advance, you want to make sure you've got 7 villages on 7 villages on wood, 6 villages on food, or 7 if you go for one later, and 2 villages on gold. This is going to help you out quite a bit with the next age. Another thing you can do here is you can queue your Ajax up in the town center while you're advancing. So you can come in and you can start grabbing relics straight away. This is going to be something you really definitely want to do. And another thing you can do is on your villages here, before everything gets crazy, you can just shift click a granary over onto this spot. You can also grab a villager on wood to throw a house down here and then jump back onto the wood there. I'm just holding shift to make that happen. I click the queued action, I hold shift and I pop back onto something else. As soon as that action is done, we're going to be good. All right, so now we're going to talk about how to use your scout effectively. In Age of Mythology Retold, as opposed to on Age of Titans, you don't know what your opponent is doing town center wise. It doesn't tell you in the score, so you need to keep a good eye on this. One easy way to keep track of this without having to think about it at all is get your scout, use patrol, and then click onto this position onto both of the settlements. Your scout is going to go between the two of those and it's going to be fine. We're going to throw down a barracks and an archery range. Why are we doing this? What is the point? What are we trying to achieve here? Well, in Age of Mythology, there are 3 different types of food sources. You've got hunt, you've got herdables, you've got berries, and then after that, actually, there's 4, and you've got farms. And they are, in that order, that good. So hunt is the best, then herdables, then berries, then farms. So we want to make sure we go to hunt, is the general rule here. What that means is hunt is always going to be out of your base. It's very, very risky to go for hunt because your opponent can raid you. So you need to have some units there to defend to be able to get onto that hunt. So we're building these buildings here to defend our open resources that are going to be a little bit difficult to grab. All right. So we also want to make sure when we're in the classical age, our resource allocation here is going to be 777 before we start thinking about anything else. That's going to be enough to sort our stuff out here. So let's put you onto a completely different hotkey. All right. So now once we've got our buildings out, we're just going to start pumping units out and getting houses. Literally just workers, units, and everything is going to be great. So we just keep on keeping on. The easiest way to do this is to set up control groups. You can do it in 2 different ways. You can select your buildings like this and put them in a control group, and you can have a combined menu to train and see what's going to happen here. Or you can do it like I do and put it into separate control groups and just hit those hotkeys to make it easier. Probably for the beginners, it'll be easier just to put them all into one control group or use the select all military building option. Alright, and we're just going to keep on pumping these units out and keep on putting villages over onto gold here and keep on getting houses down. And I'm just surrounding my wood villages here to make it nice and safe. Our units probably should be sitting over here. We did get ourselves this relic, didn't we? So we have to take that relic to actually use it. You have to take that relic back to the temple here. So we'll make sure that that's going to happen. And now I'm going to show you the first quality of life option that is very, very new to Age of Mythology. I haven't seen this in many other RTS games, if any. I don't have the resources for husbandry just yet, but I can right click on it and that's going to pre-queue it. As soon as I get that 50 gold to finish it off, that upgrade is going to be coming through. So this is really, really important to use this. It's going to give you a big advantage if you know that it exists and use it well. Okay, so we're getting husbandry. We're going to keep producing units here. And roughly at this stage, I would also recommend pre-queuing hand axe and pickaxe as well. Oh, you have to put this into here. So we'll come over there. And we're going to keep building units. And we're going to keep getting these villages onto food for the time being here. And maybe once we get to about 10, we can start thinking about somewhere else. I'm always trying to keep my economy nice and even, but it's all good. Another little trick you can do is how am I working out when to train units and not over queuing? I'm basically just listening to the sound effects of these units from coming out. So whenever I hear the train button, I try and queue up a unit. I didn't have the resources for it then, but that's because I spent them over here. I kind of mismacroed a bit, so that's fine. And we're going to come over onto wood and get a little bit of that. Now, because we had that villager on the favor for so long, now we can afford some minotaurs. So we may as well buy those when we can. And I'm gonna be able to have quite a few of them. So that's very, very nice. All right, so houses coming through. Feeling great about myself. These villagers here can start getting me some houses. And now the next part of this game, once our upgrades come through here, as our opponent is coming in. Okay, let's talk about a fight. How do we deal with this fight? So units you need to be making sure you attack is whenever the Toxotes are attacking, they want to be attacking a... Whoop, that's a big scariness there. Whenever your Toxotes basically want to be attacking infantry, your hoplites want to be attacking... your hoplites want to be attacking cavalry, and your cavalry want to be attacking archers as your general rule. Alright, so we are now ready to start throwing some more buildings down. I'm going to pre-queue a whole bunch of other upgrades here. There's this unique upgrade to Hades, which is really, really good. Definitely worth grabbing this one. It might be even worth grabbing this one straight away, called Vaults of Erebus. It increases your gold gather rate, or not gold gather rate, but your gold income by 2 a second. So you get that for free out of nowhere. So now we're moving up onto this hunt here. I'd probably recommend sitting up there and making sure that everything is good there. And you can also see that our scout has still been keeping a track on those town centers, so we know our opponent's not going for that. So we're all good to keep defending. Probably need a little bit more gold income as well now. And we're going to get a house because we're going to get population blocked here. I don't think I talked about this yet. Maybe I did. You can set up another quality of life feature here for the Greeks is you can actually set up a your control group once, and every single unit that pops out, you're going to see this one when this unit pops out is going to immediately join that control group. As you can see here, it's 11 straight away. I didn't create it; it just popped into it. So it's a really, really nice quality of life feature where that's concerned there. Keep building yourself those minotaurs. Keep getting your houses up, and I think we're in a good spot here. And if you do have that set up, then it just means you can move your army and jump to it much easier as well. So that's why I'm recommending to do that there. Okay, so houses, and we're also going to get ourselves an armory down. So once we've got our line upgrades through, it is well worth it to drop an armory down and start thinking about those armory upgrades. And whenever we hear that, whenever we hear that army rally sound, we're just going to build some units out and keep going. I probably could put these villages here onto berries, save my pigs. So the reason why we get husbandry so early in this build as well isn't just for the food increase on the chickens, but it's also for these berries here. We're going to get attacked here, and we're just going to run our villages. You can use a hotkey here, Seek Shelter. It's called Alt-C. And you can click Alt-C on everything here, and it's going to send everyone to somewhere to run out. And you can actually hit Alt-C on all these buildings as well to send them all back to work. So very simple to get everything working again. Okay, we defended that. Fantastic. Looks like my scout has decided to be a little bit silly. We're seeing him leave his base here. We could go and punish him. What we're going to do here is we already built the armory. So we're actually going to be attempting at this point now to go to the Heroic Age to get some value here. And to get a little bit housed, but that's okay. Another thing you can do... Wait, what is happening over here? He's attacking me. Okay. Another thing you can do is also pre-queue your Heroic Age upgrades. So I'm just going to sort those out while I'm thinking about going to the next age. And we're also going to throw down a couple more buildings here. So we'll throw them down with these villages over here. So a couple more buildings. And when you throw these down, just make sure you put them into your control group by using Shift plus the control group. Shift plus 1. And we're also going to pre-queue our age up here. So we're going to be able to sort that out. And the big thing is, once you get into this kind of mid-game situation, is we've been training units by just clicking. So just clicking every single Q I click gives me 1 Toxotes. But once you get access to 4 or 5 military buildings, it really is a pain to make that happen. So I recommend holding Shift and hitting Q, and that's going to train 5. Every time you make those trains past kind of the mid-game, you want to start using that Shift to train those units. It's going to be a big, big assistance for you. We're advancing now through Aphrodite, and what I want with this is I want to get a whole bunch of villages onto gold. In fact, these villages over here can come onto this gold here as well, and that's going to allow us to get a whole bunch of Nemean lions, which are really, really strong. They've got a really, really strong AoE, AoE stun. Now, again, our scout died, so I want to make sure I'm seeing what my opponent's doing. I hate not knowing what my opponent's doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a Pegasus. And I'm going to send my Pegasus here. And then I'm going to patrol this area. And I don't have to think about it. I'm just going to know. So I'm going to keep on getting myself Nemean Lions here. My upgrades are going to slowly start to come through as well. I also want to get these armory upgrades here as well. So I'm just going to pre-queue all of those. And we are off to the races to be a really, really strong in this game. Another thing that happens when you're Hades and you hit the Heroic Age is your archers immediately get the upgrade Ballistics, which makes their arrows unmissable, undodgeable. It's not going to be a big deal for most players out there, but it is a big deal in the upper echelons of competition. All right, so now we're ready to start thinking about attacking our opponent here. So we're just going to move across, and whenever we move, we're using attack move. This is A for me. Space is default, but you want to just attack move and then left click, and that's going to ensure that all your units are doing what they need to do. And now I'm going to show off Curse. This turns our opponent's units here into pigs, and you can actually take those pigs back to your home base and eat them a little bit later. I'm not going to kill him off just yet, but we just absolutely obliterated that guy's army, and we could put a whole bunch of pressure onto him. So instead, what I'm going to do here is I'm now going to throw down a fortress, and we're going to start looking towards going to the next age here. I'm going to move these villages because they are not being very efficient over here, and it's bothering me. So you want to do that. You don't have to, but you can. I also saw him moving over here. You can see he's actually on this position at the moment. My Pegasus needs to be scouting here, so I want to see this. He's over here, so let's attack move. And we're slowly going to make our way to the next age as our upgrades come through. Our units are going to be very, very strong. Now we come over onto this. Are you not working? Apparently this patrol thing isn't working. Maybe if I left click it. I'm just going to ignore whatever happened there. It looks like it's working now. Okay, we're going to come over here and deny this town center. One big change between the Titans and Retold is that the town centers here, they've got a progress bar now. So when that progress bar finishes, it's not attached to the HP, but it also means that if you lose that, you're going to lose that town center, you're going to have some problems. You're going to lose all those resources attached to it, just like any normal building. All right, let's talk a little bit about farming now. There's another nice quality of life feature that has kind of been introduced to all the Age of Empires games called Auto Farm. All you have to do is hold Shift, click in the center of the town center, and you build all of these farms up. It's really, really nice feature, and the villagers are going to build those for you. You can do that whenever you want. Normally, I do it when the villagers are idle rather than beforehand, but just for the sake of showing off that little technique there. And we're going to be looking to go to the Mythic Age here as fast as we can, just controlling all of these spaces around the map. If you want big important spaces are the gold mine over here. So we're going to make sure he's not on that as we're getting closer and closer to this next age. Not enough. I was kind of hoping we had enough. Wait, if I hit Alt-C, does this work? Alt-C and then Alt-C. It does. Okay, that's a much better way of doing it. So when you're force dropping, just use Alt-C. Much better than manually doing it. Okay, we're learning here ourselves. These units here for the Norse, you don't really have to know, but that any unit that has got this glow around it is a hero. And heroes have bonus damage against myth units. So if you have a whole bunch of myth units in your army, you really want to kill off those hero units as fast as you can, so your myth units get the most value. So now we're advancing through Artemis. Artemis gets access to Earthquake gets access to a whole bunch of other stuff. And whenever you hit the max population, it's probably time to start thinking about getting yourself a second town center. And maybe even, what are these guys doing? Get to work. And maybe even thinking about starting a trade route. So you want to send a villager all the way over into the corner of the map to build a market. And you can start a trade route going to your far town center. What are you doing? Build this. Okay, so we also need to make sure we're also queuing up all of our upgrades again with pre-queue as we're advancing. A really, really nice way to play that is whenever you advance, just pre-queue all of your upgrades. And that's going to be fantastic. You can also get yourself bronze weapons and start thinking about getting those as well. I'm actually going to save off on that because I want to get myself my big champion upgrades first and then get my armory upgrades finished. As a general rule of thumb. And what we want to do here with this earthquake is really, really important is, let's get ourselves some more Nemean lines here, is you want to use earthquake with the epicenter being at the building you want to kill the most. This is where the most damage is going to be doing. You can see the hill fort over here not taking too much damage. Town center gets absolutely removed from the game. So you make sure you click directly in the center, and that's going to kill that one off. Again, we're doing the shift queue there to build stuff. It's a really, really easy way to macro, spending your resources and all the other good stuff there. These villagers can probably move over onto the berries out inside their base there as well. We kill off everything else in his base. So we've killed him. This is the general strategy you can go for. You can be much more aggressive than I was if you like. You don't have to play as defensive, but it's really, really simple to focus on yourself when you're just worrying about what you're building and all the other good stuff that happens there. If there's anything that I kind of missed in this guide that you want to know about, if I missed a minor god or something, leave a comment in the section below and I'll do my best to respond to that. And if you want to see more of these types of guides where I kind of break down a really, really simple strategy for a sort of major god, let me know which one you want to see next. My name is Boit. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.